Well, today I'm in beautiful Paria Canyon, and this is a really fun hike down a river, the Paria River, and it gets real narrow. And so I'm in the real narrow Slot Canyon section now, and you just walk through the river. It's a lot like the Narrows in some ways, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful place. You get lots of really nice reflected light in here, and so just walking down the canyon, looking for subjects and compositions, and you can go about 8 miles down, and then you have to go 8 miles back, and that's about all you can do in a day. I'm not sure we're going to go all the way, but if you go 8 miles, that takes you to the confluence of the Paria River and Buckskin Gulch, which is kind of a natural turnaround place, but depending on how many photographs you make, you may not go all that way. So anyway, it's a really, really nice place. I've had one nice setup already this morning. Now I'm just continuing to wander and hope I can find some more. So anyway, look forward to bringing you some more images and video from beautiful Paria Canyon. And I'm going to keep on heading downstream now. This was my first photograph on the river that morning, and one I'm so excited about. This just has everything you'd hope for in a river image. Beautiful glowing walls, a nice reflection in the water, that gentle S-curve that leads you in and through the picture. It really has everything. But it's an image that almost didn't happen because I couldn't figure out how to get it all in focus. When I first set up my view camera, I tried a combination of front tilt and front swing to try to get everything to be sharp. But it didn't work, and I just couldn't find the right places for each movement to sit to make all the focus come together. And so I just stopped, zeroed everything out, and stood back and looked at it and realized, no, I can do this. It really should work. So I started again with the front tilt and just got the mud in focus from foreground to background. Then applied front swing to get the near wall and the far wall in focus. And sure enough, this time I got it, and just with a moderate stopping down, I was able to get everything nice and sharp. And so this is really a neat image and one I'm really excited to have. It was a great way to start the morning. One of the interesting and kind of spooky things that happened while we were in Paria Canyon was that we noticed if you were very still and quiet, sometimes the gurgling of the river sounded like people's voices. It's very soft and faint and very indistinct. And it's something where you feel like you can almost hear the words that someone's saying, but when you look around and realize it's not people, it's not some other group coming down the canyon, it's just some strange echo of the way the water echoes off the cliffs and moves around, and it just sounds like it could be people. It's very strange and very interesting. Well, this is exactly the kind of picture that we'd all hoped to find, and Paria Canyon did not disappoint us today. We were about 7 miles downstream, so this was just about our farthest point away that we were going to go, and it was nice to find this scene. I was a little late getting here because I was working on a previous picture and am going slower with my 4x5. My friends were already set up on this spot, and I had to wedge my tripod in to get a crack at this, but it's okay. When scenes like this emerge, it doesn't matter. We're all just trying to capture it while that glow happened, and it sure was nice and didn't disappoint us. The walls beyond aren't glowing quite as much as some other pictures, but that glow color in the river is just fantastic. I ended up going with my Ektar exposure on this one because the brightness range was so much, and really just a little bit of front tilt on the view camera brought everything into focus. So it was pretty easy to shoot and a lot of fun and a really nice memory from Paria Canyon. I always say, who can resist a good cracked mud? And this one was no exception. I found this little section of mud that was catching a beautiful glow from an opposite wall, and I was at first attracted to this by that sort of reverse J shape, which I just thought was interesting. And so I just centered that up and managed the corners and edges okay. And with these mud shots, I always like how the tiles are bigger in the foreground and then they get smaller and smaller as it works your way back in the image, and then you end up with these little curls at the back. I just think that's neat. And I really like the glow on this and the pretty color. So I just love a nice cracked mud image, and I'm really happy to have this one from Paria Canyon. One of the things I'm finding as I'm shooting large format again here, the friends I'm with are both shooting digital. So it's kind of a challenge for those mixed formats to be photographing together. And you might like to, stay with your friends and photograph alongside them. It's kind of fun to do that. I like doing that, and especially with guys I don't get to see that often. But because the large format is so much slower than the digital they're using, they're done with the picture and I'm still tweaking things and they want to move on. So we've been separated a little bit today, but it's not too bad. And in a sort of confined place like this canyon, you end up staying in reasonably close proximity. So you run into each other pretty often, and it's been good. So anyway, it's been a really fun day and fun to use the view camera in here and expose some film in Paria. Well, this one was a very nice surprise. After the last image, my friends had finished a little bit before I did, and they'd already packed up and kept going downstream a little bit, so I was just going down trying to find them. And they were just around the corner from this glowing wall, and I don't know if they even saw this. They must have, but when I saw it, that's all the furthest I went. And I just set up and started working on this. I just love that glow. I mean, you can't beat that. It was just so bright. And then that little monument rock, pointed rock in the lower left, is just the focal point. And this scene, I think, just works really well, and it all just comes together and is really inviting. And of course, you have that little sense of mystery of what's right around the corner. Well, I know my two friends were, but I didn't go any farther than this. I might have really missed a great picture right around the corner because they were over there photographing something. But once I finished this, they were ready to come back and we were ready to head back upstream. So it was a real nice surprise to just come around a corner and find a glow like this. And it's exactly the kind of thing we're looking for when we go into canyons, and something you always hope for. One thing that's really fun about canyon photography like this is the sense of discovery and what can be around every next bend in the river. When I first started coming to the Desert Southwest, that was a feeling that I had all the time as I was exploring every new canyon, every new place. You just never knew what you were about to see, and the excitement of that really kept things fresh and kept things interesting. In a canyon like this, it's kind of long and so many twists and turns, you really get that same feeling of just never knowing exactly what you're going to see. What's the light going to do? Is there going to be a good reflection here? So that's been really fun and exciting today. So this was my last photograph of the Paria River hike, and I was mostly back to the car, maybe just a mile or so before getting back to the trailhead. And this is an image actually that I'd worked on 2 years ago when we did this hike, but the conditions, as I said earlier, were not good that year. It was really windy, and I did have only my full frame camera with me, and so I was able to stop the leaf motion, but it wasn't that nice. But this time I'm really glad to have it on large format, just a little bit of front tilt to get the near grasses and the top leaves in focus, and then just stop down, and it had a little bit of a nice glow going on, and just really like the arrangement and organization of this one. What's really cool about this spot is it's actually one of the approved campsites. So you can actually get this campsite and stay overnight right here. And I'm sure people who are doing longer hikes probably do that. There were actually some people looking to set up their tents in this spot right as I was photographing. But I always love a good tree, and it's kind of nice having the mixed colors. This one still hadn't quite turned all yellow yet in the fall, but so pretty, and the beautiful light, and I'm really happy to have a neat tree picture from Paria Canyon. Well, it's been a really nice day here in Paria Canyon, and I've worked on, I think, 5 different subjects, exposed a lot of film, and walked probably going to be about 14 miles by the time it's all over. Didn't quite make it the full 16, which would have been to the confluence with Buckskin and back, but anyway, it's been a great day, and just look forward to getting back to the hotel now and getting cleaned up and getting some dinner. So, not sure what tomorrow will bring, but thanks so much for following along on this really fun trip to Paria Canyon.